What makes a great anime great? Is it a compelling, deep plot, carefully constructed character development throughout the story, great antagonists and villains? No. The real answer? Goated fights. It gives a singular monkey care in the world about virgin pacifist characters who go on deeply thought-provoking, beautiful journeys. We want to see muscle demons on roids throwing hands. We want to see a spectacle. We want to see aura farming. We want to see Song Jing-woo absolutely spreading his victims. So, without further ado, in today's video, we will be ranking every single fight in Solo Leveling. Make sure to like and subscribe, or I will send Baru to show up at your house and violate you. Check the Discord in the description below to talk to your fellow anime fans, and to cut the app in short, let's give you what you came here to see. Alright, in our dead last place, the only fight in the trash tier, this is Jing-woo versus the single goblin. This fight was just tragic, bro. Watching my glorious king in his beta state just get absolutely folded by the weakest mob in the entire universe. It's just embarrassing. There's not much else I can say about it. Now in our Mets here, I have the Nugget Strike Team versus like these random bugs. Like, I mean, these characters suck. Let's be real, no one cared about any of these guys. And Jing-woo didn't even fight, so like, who cares? Next, I got Jing-woo versus like the massive pack of dogs. I mean, it was fine, but whatever. And 39th, I have him versus the two dogs. Now, the only reason I have this one above it is because one of the dogs gets scared and runs away, so it's like, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then above it again, I have Jing-woo versus the one dog. The reason why this one's above both those is because it was like the first time we saw him fight someone stronger, and he also was kind of raw with it, bro. He fucking rocked it with a right hook. That's kind of crazy. In 37th, I have him versus the pack of goblins. Now, I have this one higher because, like, this was the first time we saw him fight after being reawakened, and after that embarrassing first fight, it was actually really good seeing, like, my goat back in the saddle actually winning a fight, so that was pretty cool. In 36th, I have Jing-woo fighting all, like, those enemies before Egress. I mean, it was kind of cool seeing him, like, reminisce about, like, his past fights and, like, practicing against them, but it really just didn't provide anything that amazing, so, like, no one really cares or remembers this fight. In 35th, this fight was actually pretty cool, although it wasn't really much of a fight. He comes out of the dungeon and sees all these people struggling against this rock monster thing. It's like a D rank boss. It's pretty weak, but these guys are fucking weak. These guys suck. And he literally takes his broken dagger and just pegs it at it like Mach 12, giving the hunters an actual opening to beat the thing. It was just kind of raw. I mean, it wasn't much of a fight, but it was pretty raw. In 34th, I have Jing-woo versus the one singular knight. You know, it's pretty funny watching this back, like how he's struggling almost at the end of season 1 with one singular knight, and then like look at him at the end of season 2. It's just such a big difference. It's pretty fun to me. His dagger is just actually not able to cut through this thing at all, so what he does is the most raw thing I've seen in a minute. He runs up to, he's like, I've dealt with armor before, grabs it and just rips its head clean off. I was like, oh, alright, that's one way to do it. Why not? In 33rd, I have Jing-woo versus the centipedes in like the penalty zone area. Now, this fight was extremely short, but it actually had a really clean animation for like how long it was on screen. So yeah, it's just in the Mets here. If it was longer, it could have been actually really good. In 32nd, we have our final Met fight. Now, after this, all the fights are pretty good. This is the fight where the A-rank strike team fought those random dungeon jackals. It was pretty cool seeing the different characters and their different abilities against these jackals, especially that one hot-ass mage. She was cool. But like, I mean, Jing-woo wasn't in it, so how good can it really be? So on 31, and it's not really much of a fight, but it is the start of the good tier. I have when Tank just runs through the demons. I don't know, I just thought Tank is funny, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, he's going in the good tier. In our 30th place spot, Jing-woo getting overwhelmed by all the knights at the end of season 1. Now, this wasn't ranked this high because of the fight itself. It's more because of the fact that we got to see like Jing-woo like battling his inner self, and his past self was looking at him like, damn, you really lost yourself. Because it is interesting seeing how like Jing-woo went from being like the weakest to one of the strongest, so like he's losing himself throughout the process. I thought it was a cool moment, but I mean, it's just good. It's nothing like special, to be honest. Now, funny enough, in 29th spot, I have him coming back and getting revenge on all the knights. It was cool seeing him use his ruler's hand for the first time, but once again, the fight isn't anything that special. It was cool seeing him overpower the golem at the end, but like, this fight was just, once again, it's a good fight, but it's just nothing special. I would say in maybe like 5-10 fights, we'll get to like the actual good stuff. In the 20th spot, I have the ultimate weapon versus this random A-rank dungeon. Now, first, I just gotta mention, this guy's drip goes so hard. Oh my God. All we see is him pulling out his hand like Roy Mustang, and he just absolutely obliterates them with one shot. It's pretty cool. Although, in all fairness, Mustang still might go over this fraud, but it was still pretty cool. In 27th place, I have Jing-woo versus the 75th floor boss, Metis or something like that. Now, I'll be honest, this wasn't a fight at all. This was a one-sided spreading of cheeks. Now, the reason it's this high is because Jing-woo goes up and he goes, "Now, I've been wondering this for a while. Do the undead feel fear? Actually, who cares?" And just proceeds to one-tap him like, oh, Oh my god, bro, that was just some crazy ass shit. That was just, he whipped his dick on him. It was just so unnecessary. In 26th place, I have Jinwoo versus this random goblin army. This is like a montage background shot, but if you zoom in, oh my god, y'all, he is fighting with his hands in his pocket. Like, dude, there's no reason for this level of disrespect once again. Like, once he started getting stronger, his aura farming abilities just start skyrocketing. Fighting with your hand in your pockets is absurd. He's dodging them without even looking and shit, bro. Like, oh my god, he's just a monster. In our 25th spot, we go all the way back to the very beginning of the show, where we were watching the third raid on Jeju Island. It was a good showing, watching all the S-ranks fighting and being a good introduction to the universe and how it works, but other than that, it's just an average fight that won't really be remembered. Now, funny enough, right above it, we go from the start of the show to the end of the current anime, where the S-ranks venture back for the fourth raid on the island. It's definitely cool seeing them back in the island, coming back for revenge from last time. And then as we see these S-ranks arguing out of nowhere, one of them is just beheaded.
Oh, fuck.
In 23rd, this wasn't really a fight, more of just a showing of power. Jinwoo enters the demon castle and we see this Giga Titan walking around. This thing actually looks insane. Jinwoo in the last episode killed Kargalon, so it's time for a test drive. He drops the Sphere of Avarice and Tusk's hand comes from the ground grabbing it. This scene low-key hard as shit, I can't even lie. This orb grants the user double magical power, and giving it to a mage as powerful as Tusk is just insane. He charges up this attack and just absolutely launches the Giga Cannon at this Titan, completely eviscerating it. Even Goat was like, well, damn. Now, some people may call me biased for this placement, but like, no shit. This random Demon Knight attacks Dripu and he just effortlessly evades every single attack before launching away with no effort. He kills the other two, and as he's walking to the last one, he says, I've been wondering this for a while now. Do magic beasts feel fear? And as the knight backs up, he goes, guess I have my answer. Bro does this low-key, kind of psychotic, sexy smirk as he's about to spread this knight. Now, luckily for the knight, it was actually a pretty woman named Isol, or Isol, I don't know. Isol is so unbelievably lucky she's a hot woman, because I just have this sinking suspicion that if this knight was some fat male demon, he's getting insta one-tapped without even a second chance to talk. Next, I have Jinwoo versus Cerberus. You know, after watching him go through the castle and even killing the final demon king, it's kind of crazy to see only like 10 episodes prior him struggling with the guard dog before even floor 1. This fight was utterly brutal. He was getting chomped on alive while the teeth that were piercing throughout his entire body. His final attack, just stabbing Cerberus in the eye over and over, was genuinely insane. Definitely a cool fight that really pushed our GOAT to the edge and beyond. Now, breaking our top 20, we have Jinwoo versus the Snake Boss all the way back in episode 4. Seeing him literally struggling with goblins just days before, and now going to fight a gargantuan-sized snake boss was definitely kind of crazy. This fight was overall just raw. He keeps getting thrashed around by this massive creature. His blade is completely unable to pierce through the snake's skin, so he's like, fuck it. I put all my points in strength. Time to use it. Throws the blade, runs up the snake, and grabs it by the throat. Like, who even thinks of that, first of all? We see this insanely animated scene of him going crazy, choking the life out of this creature. Even though at this point in the story, he was still incredibly weak, this was still an awesome fight to watch. Next, watching all the S-ranks from Korea versus the S-ranks from Japan was definitely fun. Like, even though they're all S-rank, there is a disparity between them all. Like, you know, you can be lower S-rank or upper S-rank. It was fun seeing all their unique abilities being used on one another, but considering it wasn't a real fight and more of a sparring fight, it can't be that high up. I did really enjoy seeing Shaw fight though. The way she can move around extremely quickly, as like, you know, her nickname suggests, the dancer, to overwhelm her opponents is really cool. She flicks onto this one shitter and he just snaps. And right before he was about to do something crazy, Daddy Jinwoo appears and just absolutely sits bro down. Jinwoo in this moment is just demonstrated to be way above these S ranks, which is badass. Jinwoo versus Goto is definitely a fun fight for however short it was. They're both just leagues stronger than the other S ranks, and their fight had everyone shocked. Jinwoo was more or less just playing defense as he was assessing Goto's strength. Goto was getting butthurt, as you could tell Jinwoo definitely wasn't trying his hardest because he was smiling and he said, fuck it, I'm going all out. Surprisingly, he actually lands a hit on Jinwoo, even if it was just a slight scratch. Jinwoo grabs his hand instead of his wrist, basically saying, listen, I could have chosen to end the fight, but I want to keep playing with you. They get serious, charge on each other, and the other hunters stop them as it would have gotten too dangerous. Now, before anyone mentions it, yes, I am aware this was very different in the manhwa. In the manhwa version, Goto gets annoyed from Jinwoo playing around and says, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill him. Like, oh, okay. Jinwoo realizes he needs to end this fight quickly before the system marks him as a threat and forces Jinwoo to kill him. And like I said before, in the anime, they cut it, but in the manhwa, when the hunters stop Jinwoo, who's literally shitting himself, saying he saw death in that moment. Definitely a cool scene. I don't know why they cut it, but yeah, overall, pretty cool fight, even if it was short. Bro thought he was the GOAT, and this scene made me laugh so hard. Baru says, are you the king? He says, yeah, I'm the king. My guy, you should not have said that. The episode cuts to black, and we wait a week. Next week rolls around. Bro, they just fully off-screened him and cut to his head falling. I was dead laughing watching this scene. This guy thought he was all that in a bag of chips just to get folded. And then finally in the good tier, we have Jingwu spawning in the island and just absolutely violating all the ants. Seeing the super fluid animation of all of his shadow soldiers tearing through the ants was so satisfying. Igris, once again, as always, farming aura. Then of course we got Goat, Tusk, Iron, and Tank running through them as well. All the S ranks are watching like, bro, what are these shadowy soldiers? Then Jingwu aura farming with his hands in his pockets just walks by them. All of them are so surprised and all of how he's even there. Fairly short fight, but it was definitely fun to watch. Now, this one fight, I'm using images from the manhwa instead of the anime because I want to upload this video now. And so lovely, and its final episode comes out in 3 days. I have Baru absolutely bodying the final 4,000 ants of the island. We cut to Jingwu summoning Baru as a shadow, and that has to be one of the cleanest panels in the entire manhwa. You're trying to think about how to deal with the final remaining ants, and Baru's like, Master, I can feel it. Our enemies are having a difficult time navigating the skies because they have no leader. Can you wipe out the rest yourself if you give me the order? We cut to the ants invading the mainland, but literally like a fighter jet, Baru comes flying in, tearing them all to pieces. This final panel is so raw. Overall, not the craziest fight, but I love Baru and how cool he is, so being biased, he's up here. Going all the way back to season 1, Jingwu versus the spider boss. This was a pretty fun fight in first watch. It's funny watching Jinwoo be like, don't worry, Sung, I got this. Jinwoo walks him and decides, nah, I'd win. His friend's like, bro, come on, this is a C rank boss. I'm D rank and you're E rank. The best chance we have is letting me fight with my pay to win armor from daddy. Jinwoo walks up and just absolutely starts flying around. Bro is just shocked watching. We get to see this super cool shot of Sung using dash, a new ability that's basically like his version of Zenitsu's thunderclap and flash move, and he blitzes towards the spider, eventually just going crazy, stabbing it in the eyes multiple times to win. Definitely one of the more fun fights in the show. Next up, we have the very beginning of season 2, where Jingwu gets to use his shadow army against the ice bears for the very first time. The first time he says the line for them all to come out just sounds so crispy. Seeing all of his knights go crazy was super cool for the first time, and then the Giga boss bear comes out to challenge them. My glorious, sexy goat Igris walks up to fight it. Don't get it twisted, this bear is very strong, but it's just simply no match for Igris. Igris was just straight up aura farming this entire fight, and I'm here for it. This fight felt very Levi versus that Beast Titan-esque. Definitely a cool first shot into his shadow army, and the very first of many more Igris aura moments. Next up, we have Jingwu running up on the 50th floor boss of Wukong in his demon army. As usual, our aura farming demon Igris just sprints into battle, absolutely demolishing anyone who opposes him. Jingwu's like, alright, when is this fat bitch gonna stand up and finally throw some hands? He blinks, and this fat tub of lard absolutely flash steps out of sight coming into his act. Jingwu barely dodges and is like, please. And then hits him with a diabolical right hook, sending him hundreds of meters away. My goat! Even Jingwu was like, damn, maybe I put too much in strength and got too OP. Wukong sprints back to attack, and we get the scene I really liked of Iron throwing his massive shield to Jingwu. He catches it and blocks the incoming barrage of attack. Eventually, Jingwu baits him into this destroyed area where he activates his dash ability to run up the wall, kind of like Sonic doing the loop-de-loop. He jumps down from above and completely just splits him in two. Not the longest fight ever, but definitely fun regardless. Next, we have when Jingwu was following this A-rank strike squad into the dungeon. This massive army of orcs attacks them, and it's just not going well for everyone. My first thought watching this was, damn, Jingwu's about to have an army of orcs. Every single orc is nearly the level of an A-rank hunter, which is insane to think about considering how many of these things are. But unlike his old strike teams, you actually didn't want these guys to die since they're all good, cool people. The hot mage, like I mentioned before. This one boxer woman, she was a cool design and fighting style. And then finally, their goated leader. This guy let Jingwu join his strike team when he said he was E-rank because of how hard he knew it was for E-rank hunters to make a living. What a stand-up Giga Ched. We see this healer look up, accepting her fate, knowing that she and everyone is about to get slaughtered. And our glorious King Gowu uses ruler hand to choke it and then rip its head and spine straight out of its body. When I first watched this, I was gagged, grasping at my imaginary pearls on my neck. He was using his invisibility to run around and weaken each orc enough to the point where the strike team could successfully take them out. It was definitely cool to just watch him flying around violating each orc. And my favorite part was after it was over, Jingwu thought he was being so stealthy. This one mage was like, bro, we have all these high rank mages and you don't think we see you? I don't know why, that scene just made me laugh. Next in 10th place, I have Ren versus Sung Jingwu. Well, truthfully, the start of this fight is Ren versus this random nugget, but let's be real, no one cares about this guy. Eventually, he attacks his baby girl, and that's where Jingwu draws the line. You don't ever put your hands on another man's poontang. This started going back and forth, and truthfully, this was one of the few actual close fights in the show. My goat does the iconic Goku warm-up before absolutely splitting past Ren, hitting him across the face. Ren goes invisible to attack Jingwu, and bro, I was creaming watching this. Dude is just blocking everything without moving a single muscle, even though he's invisible. Ren's like, maybe I should have just stuck to soccer. And before he knows what happens, Jingwu hits him with the
領域展開
And after that, it was just wraps. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is actually one of the few fights in the entire story that actually was semi-close. Most fights in this show are just one-sided stomps. Now, finally, for our last fight in the Great Tier, we have all of the S-rank hunters versus the Queen. Actually, right before the Queen, we get to see all the S-ranks fight the smaller ants guarding her. And once again, it is cool to see all of their unique abilities wipe out the ants. But there was one moment I saw that you guys just need to see. Shaw is killing the ants, and just look at this shot. Bro, watching this live was hilarious. They said, fuck it, no one really cares about this fight. Let's just shamelessly reuse the same shot 15 times. Now, I get wanting to save budget. Like, trust me, I know. I'm a Blue Lock fan. But I don't know, I feel like there are so many better ways that could have done it. I don't really care, I just found it funny. They start fighting the Queen, and I mean, it's decent, but where they really put the budget in this fight was for Hunter Cha. We see this cool ass shot of her flying in, going crazy, slicing up the Queen. As the Queen falls, she jumps super high in the sky, starts aura farming, and then flies back and cutting the head clean off. Definitely a super badass moment that was actually one of the few hype fights that didn't have Daddy Wu in it. Going back all the way to the start of the show, I have Jinwoo versus the double dungeon statues. This honestly on rewatch was truthfully just insanely impressive to see. These are the same statues that absolutely speed blitzed and obliterated stronger hunters in Sung, and he's insanely hurt with blood and limb loss, and is still managing to dodge fatal strikes that could insta-one-tap him. My goat! And then on top of it, we get this generational speech that really hooked everyone into the show. His girl gets taken out safely, and he says to himself, good. I'm the only one who has to die. I've always been the weakest, and I've been mocked for it time and time again, but I've always tried as hard as I could. This is bullshit. Bullshit. I tried to be stronger, but I couldn't. And even then, I gave it my all to get this far. You couldn't take anymore? We all felt the same way. All you were doing is justifying your own selfishness. That gratitude was as empty as my wallet. It's always the most selfish people who benefit the most. I have a family too. I wanted to make it home alive too. It's good that I'm the only one who has to die. How could you think that, you stupid hypocrite? I don't want to die. If only I had one more chance. And then finally, we see the player acceptance panel appear, officially making him a player. This is one of the best written scenes in all of Solo Leveling. Now, I know that's not the highest bar, but it's truthfully heartbreaking watching this guy get dealt the worst cards physically possible, and then on top of it, being injured, abused, mocked, and used for it. Seeing him crash out yelling, this is such bullshit, and really had so much emotion behind it. Quick shout out to both the Japanese and English voice actors. Both of these guys are goated and do a great job. Round of applause for Alex Lee for being one of the few voice actors good enough to actually make dub watchable. But yeah, overall this was a super great fight and scene to have this early on into the show because it was truthfully such a great hook. And from this point forward, everyone just naturally wants to root for Jinwoo because of where he came from and how far he's come. Now coming all the way back to the present, we have Baru showing up and absolutely violating the S-rank hunters. Baru walks in the room and his raw presence alone is just enough to bring these strong S-rank hunters to their knees. These are some of the strongest characters in the entire verse, and he just absolutely no-diffs all of them. They also play the iconic Dark Aria song from season 1, and it just fits so well. A direct parallel from Jinwoo slaughtering those guys, but instead of Jinwoo folding C and D rank hunters, it's Baru folding some of the strongest S rank hunters. Definitely a badass scene. I know there's been a whole bunch of memes made about how the S ranks are so stupid because they brought to Baru's attention that they have a healer hiding in the back, but truthfully I doubt Baru didn't already send him there in the first place. But eventually he gets bored since they're all so weak and leaves. I saw an interview from the Solo Leveling author on why Baru didn't really kill them all instantly, because some people apparently thought Baru was merciful, but that's very far from the truth. Baru didn't kill them because he wanted to deeply torture them for killing the Queen, and he would have done so if Gobu didn't show up. But overall, definitely a very fun show of power. Now, I did quickly mention it in the last ranking, but in our 6th place spot, I have the iconic slaughtering in episode 6 of season 1. These C-rank monkeys betray Sung and Jinwoo, leaving them to die against the spider boss. Unfortunately for them, Jinwoo had just killed the spider and was not happy. He walks up on them and drops one of the coldest lines in the show.
So now I want to know if the hunters are ready to be preyed upon.
They all start laughing at him, thinking that he's bluffing.
I mean, you're the weakest hunter of...
That's one down.
This shit was so unbelievably raw, I can barely put it into words. Of course, we get the iconic Dark Aria soundtrack playing. When I say this is genuinely one of the best soundtracks in anime, like, bro, the guy who made this cooked so hard. Jinwoo was just flying around, slaughtering them like the dirty farm animals they are. Eventually, he's all the way down to the leader of this evil strike team. The guy's like, the trick to his strength is in his speed and Dagger's abilities. If I just use my reinforcement, my body's as strong as steel, and he can't hurt me. Sure, whatever you say, Loba. Song flies in with one of the coldest line and says,
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. You see, I've been leveling up this whole time.
my goat! And just look at this sorry shitter. Bro does not know it hit him. He starts begging like the sorry monkey he is, and Jinwoo hits him with the 3 times. You tried to kill me 3 times, and now you want mercy? Bro, he's so cold with it. And then just absolutely deletes him from our reality and sends him straight to the Shadow Realm. Overall, definitely one of the most iconic fights in the entire series, and was definitely the fight that really made me fall in love with the show when I first watched it. Now, breaking our way into the top 5, we have Jinwoo versus the blood red aura farming monarch, Igris. This fight was so peak, I can't even put it into words. Igris is just absolutely smacking around. He can't even pierce his armor, dude. After getting thrashed around, Jinwoo does one of the most insane things I've ever seen. He puts away his daggers and is like,
Let's throw hands.
Igris looks at him confused and decides to one-up Jinwoo in aura farming. He smashes his blade into the ground, throws his daggers to the side, and is ready to box. Igris absolutely perception blitzes Dripwoo and slams him to the ground. Even without weapons, Igris is still able to slap his opponents around with his absurdly large cock. Jinwoo, using dash, eventually lands a hit and actually kind of starts cooking as they're exchanging blows now. It's not as one-sided. And let me just say, out of literally every single fight in this anime so far, seasons 1 and 2, this fight probably has the best choreography in the entire series. It's genuinely a masterclass of animation blended with fight choreography. Jinwoo actually lands a mean spin kick to Igris, and Lobo, you really shouldn't have done that. Igris gets mad and lets out this Giga speech, and it was at this moment I knew my goat was about to get inappropriately touched. Bro hits one of the most diabolical combos I have ever seen in my life, and y'all, this shit is just hard to watch. Igris hits the iconic Broly move and throws Sung towards the throne. He grabs the sword to end the fight, and right before he swings it,
I haven't lost yet!
he flings the sword out of Igris' hands and drags him all the way towards the wall. Jinwoo starts schizoing out as he slams the dagger through Igris' head. And then finally, to put an end to this generational fight, we see Jinwoo hitting a fucking black flash to end the Igris. Genuinely one of the most fun fights to watch in the entire show. Now, I think the top 4 fights are all better because they have better moments, more cool effects, and just overall are crazier fights. But like I said before, out of every fight in the show, I still do hold the opinion that this is the highest quality of fight choreography and cinematography. So if you are someone who really enjoys that, I could easily see in this one be your favorite. Now, almost right after the Igris fight in the story, we have Jinwoo versus Barca. This fight starts off with one of the most generational aura farming moments I have ever seen in anime. He pulls up with his army and says, "One of my nugget soldiers said he saw someone strong and wants to challenge them." Baro gets Giga speed blitz as his head gets despawned from existence, and Jinwoo hits them with the
And?
Bro, he's so cold with it. And then literally not even 2 minutes later, bro hits him with another generational aura farming moment. Barca says if he hands over the other humans, he'll let him live. Dripwoo obviously says no, and Barca goes, "Are you sure you want to challenge me?" As you can tell, you're severely outnumbered. Jinwoo was just waiting for someone to say that. Bro hits this sexy ass smirk and says,
Sure about that?
and then just summons his entire shadow army ready to siege. The fight starts and all hell breaks loose. The nugget humans who are with Goku just sprint away as they realize they are not built for this. The ice elves try to snipe them, and y'all, just watch this clip. Bro can't even go 13 seconds in this season without farming aura. It's straight up just in his DNA at this point. Barca eventually attacks Jinwoo, and they have this amazing face-off. They start going at it, and like I said before, the fluidity and the fight choreography is just amazing as always. Barca eventually launches Jinwoo, then looks up and sees the sun.
Is this nigga serious?
Eventually, the explosion wakes up this A-rank fraud from earlier in the episode. Dude wakes up seeing Jinwoo and just instantly starts full molding. He picks up a sword and starts charging at him. My favorite part about this clip is how Jinwoo looks back at him and then just calmly looks away. Like, bro is such a non-threat. He's not even worried about him at all, not even looking at him. And then we see just one of the most wild things I've ever seen. Igris spawns in and just slaughters Hunter Kim in cold blood. And while the smoke screen is up, Jinwoo hits him with the
Okiro.
and adds him to his immortal slave list, and thus this beta loser Hunter Kim's meaningless life actually has some use in becoming Goat Iron. Once Iron is born, the fight really ramps up as Barca is fighting a 3 versus 1 against Iron, Jinwoo, and Igris. Jinwoo eventually pegs his dagger at him. Barca dodges it, but using Ruler's hand, Jinwoo is able to send it flying back like a boomerang. He turns around, barely blocking it. Iron spawns and grabbing him. The Mage summons this Giga Fireball to hit him once again. He gets pissed and demolishes Iron, and while he's full schizo yelling, Jinwoo comes in invisible, stabbing him in the side, saying, "It's over." Once again, he has a schizo meltdown, yelling, "It's over when I say it's over." Iron spawns behind, swinging his massive hammer, and Jinwoo literally has his hands in his pocket, walking away into the distance, turning invisible. Like, bro, This was literally for no other reason than to aura farm. Walking away with your hands in your pocket is insane, on top of vanishing into the wind, and like, there's no enemies left. Why are you even turning invisible? There's no gain other than to farm aura. But yeah. With that, the fight is over. I don't think as a fight, this is better than Jinwoo versus Igris, but when you look at it from a more broad point of view, all the aura farming scenes together give it enough sauce to be above the Igris fight. This was genuinely such a cool fight to rehook viewers back in at the start of season 2, and I loved every minute of it. For our bronze place fight, we have Daddy Wu versus Kargalon. This is cutting back to earlier in the video when Jinwoo was assisting the A-rank strike squad. The leader is getting spread, and right before he's about to die, Jinwoo flies in to save him. One of the orc generals tries to throw some kind of weapon at them, but before he can do anything, Jinwoo hits him with a 180 flick and sits Lil Bro down. Well, actually he more like throws Lil Bro up. Jinwoo steps up to Kargalon and says,
You know, unfortunately, this is a terrible matchup. And when I say that, I mean for you.
My goat! Drippy Woo is always so cold with it, bro. And just look at these three, dude. These three standing together is just so raw. Jinwoo uses his domain for the first time, giving all of his shadow soldiers a massive boost to their stats. And I love the choice to make them go from light blue to a cool royal shade of purple. Purple Igris is something I didn't know I needed in life until I got it. The fight starts and off-rep Iron just eviscerates like 20 of them with one swing. They all swarm Igris and... Dude, Igris is literally arguably a greater aura farmer than Jinwoo. Is that crazy to say? I don't know, man. All I knew watching the scene was we need more purple Igris in the fray. Jinwoo flying in, launching all their heads off like Satra or Gojo or something, and then just dices up like dozens of them with zero effort. Kargalon gets mad and starts using his spells. One thing I actually find really cool about the scene is how Kargalon fights. He's one of, if not the only character in the show who doesn't fight in combat really at all, but more sits back using his magic to fight. I think having a sprinkle of different stuff like this once in a while is really cool. Bro attacks and things to himself, he'll just drain Jinwoo's mana in this battle of attrition in order to win. Jinwoo laughs at the idea of that, drinking a mana potion to completely store his mana. Let me show you the true power of a necromancer. And then proceeds to make dozens of his higher A-rank orcs into his own shadow soldiers. Bro is completely shocked seeing his soldiers get turned against him, and Jinwoo says, I will turn all of them into my shadow soldiers. Of course, that includes you as well. Dude, he's just built different. He's so insane. He gets mad telling his generals to go into the fight, and y'all, all he's doing is feeding our glorious King Igris. Bro is straight up 1v2 in 2 of the orc generals like it's nothing. Genuinely one of the most raw characters in all of fiction. And I know I sound like a broken record saying this, but once again, the fluidity and fight choreography is just top notch as usual. Igris kicks one of the generals backwards into tank, who just like many other characters in the show at this point, hits a fucking black flash to delete that orc from existence. Kargalon gets mad as he decides it's time to hop into this fight himself. He summons this massive shield, but somehow his default mages with the Orb of Avarice absolutely giga nukes it. Kargalon is fucking pissed and grows to massive size to fight Jinwoo. This shot is actually so fucking cool, to be honest. He activates like 50 of these spell casting things around Jinwoo, and fire is just being shot everywhere, eviscerating all of Jinwoo's troops in his own. Goatwoo is literally just flying around as the entire ground beneath him is being turned to dust. Jinwoo does this epic move using Ruler's Hand to wrap the chans all the way around him, and at this point, it's just a straight GG. Overall, one of the biggest visual spectacles in the entire show, and definitely deserving of our number 3 spot. Next up, we have Jinwoo on the 100th floor of the Demon Castle. It seems like a barren, empty land until we see Baron, the Demon Monarch. Bro comes riding in on this massive dragon, literally just farming all the aura possible. Jinwoo gets a taste of his own medicine as Baron opens all these portals as demons come marching in. The demons surround and all start swarming him. Jinwoo pops the
領域展開
Monarch's domain, and all of his soldiers coming ready to spread cheeks. Igris, Iron, and Tank quickly get to work as Giga Chad Tusk just incinerates hundreds of them. He shoots this insane energy blast into the sky in this beautiful display of energy as the lightning comes raining back down, killing all of his troops. As Isol's about to die, Daddy Wu comes flying in, saving his future baby mama. Jinwoo goes invisible and tries to surprise him, but gets absolutely shit on. Once again, Giga Chad Tusk comes flying in with this ultra blast to counter Baron's lightning, and yo, this beam struggle looks genuinely insane. During all this, our glorious, sexy, blood red commander Igris absolutely just one-taps the dragon, bringing it to the ground. Jinwoo's like, thank God. I was getting tired of looking up. Then Baron hits this absolutely diabolical walk, and at this point, I was actually scared for Goatwoo. He absolutely rinses Tusk, Iron, and Igris, bro. Anyone who can clear that line up that easily is dangerous. Jinwoo flies in for the kill, and he actually blocks it and grabs Jingwoo by the head. Ain't no fucking way, bro. He goes for the kill and Goat Tusk blocks his swing. All of his elite guards respawn around and try to restrain him, but he somehow overpowers all of them. This guy is low-key insane. Jingwoo's out of mana, so right now it's a straight 1v1. Lightning strikes and he pulls out some of the coolest daggers I've seen. They have this epic standoff and then just start going band for band, exchanging blows. Their fight is so powerful, everything's being launched and lightning is flying everywhere. Eventually, Barn hits him with a point-blank blast, knocking his weapons out of his hands and tries to finish him off. But our glorious king catches both hands and narrowly stopping the attack. He charges up a point-blank mouth blast and Jingwoo realizes he's cooked. I can't dodge this. Go Isol for the clutch. She buys him just enough time to pull all of his remaining points in strength, and he goes fucking crazy, ripping off both of his arms. He charges up one desperate final attack as Jingwoo comes flying in, hitting one of the most insane black flashes I've ever seen. One of the meanest uppercuts in all of fiction. Shit was so hard, his head got launched clean off into the sky where it fucking detonates like a nuclear bomb. And yeah, there we have it, bro. Definitely an insane generational fight that, like everything in the show, looked absolutely beautiful. And finally, in our number one spot, I mean, is anyone surprised? This fight was generational. Bru's like, which one of you is the king? And our glorious GOAT Jingwoo steps up to the plate. They have this iconic face-off, and while this is happening, the TV comes back on. Everyone sees our glorious king getting ready to fight Baru. Everyone is hyped. They're like, it's GOAT! It's GOAT! It's Daddy! We're saved! We're saved! Eventually, Baru hits him with a mean punch across the face. Everyone's like, oh no, was Jingwoo too cocky? Is that all you got, pussy?
Oh no, bro.
They start trading heavy blows back and forth. Some of these shots were unbelievably clean. Eventually, Baru hits him with a toxic strike that brings him to his knees. It's over. Bro tries to finish it off, and our glorious king caught it, and then returns the favor with the meanest uppercut to the chest I've seen in a minute. He then tries to do this insane axe kick, but luckily for Baru, he dodges it. Poison and tests of strength are pointless, but that's not where my true power lies. It's my speed. And then we genuinely get one of the coolest, best animated transformation sequences I have ever seen in anime. They cooked so hard on this scene, it is insane. The second this started happening, I was like, alright, it's about to get serious. They also had this Attack on Titan-esque soundtrack playing in the background. It was perfect. Jingwoo whips out the Demon King's dual-wielding blades, and this face-off was so raw, dude. You can tell the budget was ramped up here from watching them go back and forth in this all-out duel. They have this slow-mo scene where both their eyes meet and glow red and blue, respectively. I love this shot, dude. It was so cool. Their speed ramps up even more, and they enter the fucking zone, dude. Watch these two scenes side by side and tell me this isn't Kagami versus Omine in the zone. The S-rank hunters are trying so hard to follow, but there's just no hope, bro. This next scene has so many dynamic shots. It's just absurd. This fight choreography was just beyond excellent. They start going band for band, and eventually Jingwoo pushes Baru to the point of snapping. He slams Jingwoo down and launches his claws directly into his eyes. Luckily, our glorious king is built different. Dodges and counters with an insane barrage of his own. Baru is not having a good time. What in the world is even that, bro? Bro tries with all of his might to leave, but it's just hopeless. Jingwoo plucks his wings and brings him back down to earth. Seeing the shot of Baru as a nugget had my jaw to the floor. He's so raw with it, dude. Baru commands his army to attack, and Jingwoo just says, go. We finally get Purple Egress, Iron, and Tank back into the mix, bro. We even pulled out a fucking dragon for this one. I forgot he even had this thing. The camera pans over, and our glorious Goat Tusk just launches a nuclear warhead through the mountain, absolutely obliterating the ants. We get this absolutely stunning, beautiful shot of Jingwoo as Baru just realizes, I just need to run. I ain't built for this shit. It's at this point, though, it's over for him. Jingwoo uses Ruler's hands and drags him down to earth once more. We get another glorious shot of our GOAT, and yeah, it's just wraps, bro. This fight was over. This was definitely the best fight in the show so far. The raw fluidity in the fight and the amount of insane shots and frames was just generational. And yeah, with that, my list is complete. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps a lot, and check out my Discord in the description below. And yeah, with all that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.